Welcome back, little dragons. We are on to our second lesson on circles. Today we're going to be discussing tangent lines, which, if you remember, is a line that intersects a circle at one point. So this would be our tangent line L, and it's intersecting our circle right here. So one fact we know about tangent lines is that if a line is tangent to a circle, then it creates a perpendicular angle to the radius of the circle. So if this is my tangent line, which we called L, and this is my radius AB, I know that AB is perpendicular to line L. Now what's perpendicular mean again? Let's put a little note over here. Perpendicular means 90-degree angle. So our tangent line creates a 90-degree angle with the radius. Now this works for any tangent line. If I were to draw another tangent line over here, and then a radius that met it, this angle created right here would also be 90 degrees. So what conclusion do we reach? If line L is tangent to circle T, then we know that radius AB, which we have right here, is going to be perpendicular to tangent line L. Remember this one more time. The tangent line creates a 90-degree angle with the radius. Alright, so let's look at some applications of this. Over here, let's read the question. We have HJ is tangent to circle G. What is the measure of angle J? So this is our tangent line, HJ, as you can see right here. And this is our angle that we'll be looking for. Now, as you can see, this is a triangle that has been created. And what we know is since HJ is tangent to circle G, this is a 90-degree angle right here. Now, how's that going to help us solve for J? Well, since this is a triangle, I know that all three angles are going to add up to 180. So all I have to do to solve for this third angle is take 180 degrees, subtract 58 degrees from it, and subtract the 90 degrees. And what's left is our angle J. So let's see, I put this into my calculator, and I find out that my missing angle is going to be, that's right, 32 degrees. So going back to this, my angle J is 32 degrees, and that's all you got to do. 180 minus your two other angles. Now let's look at another problem. This one looks a little trickier, but let's go through it step by step. We have KM, which is tangent to circle J. So we have KM right here, and this is our tangent line. Now we're trying to find out the value of x. Well, what are we going to do? We're probably going to have to set up an equation. So let's look at the information we have. If KM is tangent to circle J, we know that this angle created right here is 90 degrees. So right now I have three angles, and once again I have a triangle that's been created. Well, how can I find out x? Does this remind you of any problems we've done before? Yeah, that's right. We know that the three angles inside a triangle add up to 180. So I can just set up my equation. Well, I know the first angle plus the second angle plus the third angle are all going to add up to 180 degrees. So I just have to plug in my angles. Well, my first angle over here with the tangent line is 90 degrees. Okay. My second angle, which is over here, angle M, is 3x plus 4. And my third angle, angle N, is 6x plus 5. Well, now that I've set up my equation, all I have to do is solve it to find out what x is. First step, combine like terms. Well, I have 90, 4, and 5, which are all like terms. So let's combine those, and we get 90 plus 4 plus 5 is 99. And then I have 3x and 6x, which are also like terms. So when I add those together, I get 9x. So 9x plus 99 equals 180. The next step is to solve this, so what I'm going to do is to subtract 99 from both sides. Subtracting 99, these cancel, and I get 9x is equal to 81. Final step, divide by 9, and x is equal to 9. And that's all you got to do. So just remember, you just got to set up your equation. You have three angles, 1, 2, and 3. Since they're inside a triangle, we know they add up to 180, so you set up your equation and solve it. That's all you got to do. Now this is our final problem. This one's a little different. Now once again it tells us that, hold on, let's move this over. This tells us that xy, this line right here, is tangent to w. Now if this is our tangent, we know once again that this is our 90-degree angle. Now we know the two sides are 6 and 8, and we're looking for this third side over here. We're trying to figure out what wy is, which is right over here. Well, how are we going to solve this? Well, let's look at what we have. We have a 90-degree triangle, and we have two of the sides, and we're looking for the third side. Now, if you recall, back from middle school days, if I want to find the third side of a 90-degree angle, I could use the Pythagorean theorem, which is just a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now all I have to do is plug in my values. So since one side of my leg is 6, so we know 6 squared, and my second side is 8 plus 8 squared is going to be equal to my third side, which is c squared. Well, now let's just square these numbers. So 36 plus 64 equals c squared. 36 plus 64 is 100, which is equal to c squared, and we're not done. You can't just leave it at c squared. Because you have a squared right here, the final step is to take the square root of both sides. And if I take the square root of 100, I should get c is equal to 10, which we're going to say is right here. So our third and final side is 10 feet. Now one mistake that students often make is that they don't plug it in correctly. So you have to know that A and B are always going to be the legs of the triangle, so that's these two, and C is always the hypotenuse. This always must be the hypotenuse. Alright? As long as you plug this in correctly to a squared plus b squared equals c squared, you can find the third side of any 90-degree triangle. And that is it for today's lesson.